right.
Okay.
All right, babe. Hey, bud. Chauncey. Yeah, I am. I just today kind of knocked me for a loop. Um, for full explanation, basically, got into an auction where I was seemed to be the only person who wasn't selling anything, and I hadn't had that problem in a long time. Probably since I was about 16 or 17. I've always been able to move my artwork pretty easily, and today I couldn't sell anything. It was terrible, and it finally got to the point to where I felt like I was just wasting my time, and I left, and I was just having a hard time dealing with it. Mainly because there's a couple other people in there who are selling things left and right, and it seemed like the only people that were following the auction were the people that wanted their artwork and nobody else's. And one person was making almost $1,000 per auction. Every time they put up a piece of artwork, guys were they would start at like $80, and then all of a sudden, the first bid on it was like 600-700 bucks, and they were starting the auction at 80, but they were doing over 200% of what the asking price was, and it was just I was getting flummoxed a little bit. Now, I wasn't expecting to make thousands of dollars at this today at all. I mean, I was going to be happy if I made just a couple hundred, if anything. But I wasn't making squat. And I know my work was as good as the other people's who were there, but I wasn't making anything. So I just got a little flustered and in my own head. And I said, you know what? I think I'm done. And then the one piece I did sell was a painting of mine, a horror painting that I did kind of in a series of paintings back in 2016, and was able to sell all of the paintings for about $400 a piece. And I was only able to sell this painting, which was the hardest of all the paintings I did and the most detailed of all the paintings I did. I only got $125 for it. And it just didn't seem right. It didn't set right with me. So I actually, the guy who bought it, I actually gave him his money back. And the auction place found out that I had returned the money and couldn't sell it, and they said if I did that I would be banned, and I was okay with being banned. And then I just got in my head more and more and more, and basically thinking that my art was worthless and I don't know why I'm doing all this. And it's a way I haven't felt in a long time. And I still feel really stupid and bad that it even got to that point. But it did. And luckily, my best friend Mike McMahon, who's the U.S. Assassin artist, he helped me kind of talk me off a ledge. And then my wife also helped me too. And I'm better now. I actually reached back out to the guy who bought that painting from me, and I actually re-offered it to him at the price that that $125 price if he still wants it. He hasn't reached back out to me yet to see if he wants it. But yeah, I should have known better with putting the horror paintings in there. I knew those probably wouldn't sell, but I wanted to take a shot, and I felt kind of scared to put anything in there after I put up me and Philip Hester's Ironclad cover that we did for my graphic novel, and nobody bought it. And I figured that would go. I mean, Phil Hester's a name artist. I just did the inks on the thing and nobody touched it. So that just kind of, I got in my own head when I shouldn't have gotten in my own head. But I'm better now. And I did reach back out to Red Valkyrie to let him know I did contact the gentleman who bought the painting to let him know that I would be willing to go ahead and sell it back to him for that price. And I also informed them that even if it does make things okay with them, I don't think I'll be doing an auction again because I don't seem to handle it very well. Oh, I can hear my daughter coming. What's up, kid? She went to the hardware store quick.
No. Why?
She went to go get some nails. She wants to hang her painting up on the wall, and we didn't have any nails to do that.
I know what they make for dinner if I'm even staying for.
Yeah, you are here tonight again, honey. So why? What do you want?
I need to show you that you're doing that.
Oh, sorry. Well, why don't you just tell me what you want?
I
What?
don't know what it's called.
Well, sure.
Let me see.
Oh, it certainly was, Chauncey. I mean, they were basically ignoring everybody in that auction except for myself and except for Shelby and I believe the other artist was Renee. She was the one getting the thousands of dollars for pieces. I mean, Shelby was getting $600-700 for his stuff, but the stuff she was getting was like astronomical. It was getting ridiculous, and it was making little sense to me. I mean, I don't have much of a fan base yet, or maybe even if at all, with the way I acted during that auction. But it is what it is. I mean, if she's sleeping, leave her be.
She's not.
Oh, what's she doing?
She's just staring at you.
Oh, she's staring at me?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, my cat was looking at me. All right, so let's move on to some inks. Very, very, very rough in the pencil department here. So set that back down. And let's try some inks. My usual tools here. And start with all of our cool grays, which are going to be, we need 3, I need 7, I need 5, I need 1. All right. So. Fix that head because it looks like he doesn't have a neck. There we go. That's a little better. Looked like he had no neck. All right, now let's go ahead and start adding some. I think I'm going to make him backlit here. So now I'm not doing the inks on this until like he's all kind of toned in. So it's almost going to be like a watercolor painting in a way. All right. What are you watching out there, Emmy?
I'm not watching anything.
Oh. Is it just what was playing on the TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think your remote needs some batteries.
It just might. Change my setting here. There we go. That's better. I think my other 7 was dying on me a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 5. Let's blend some color together. What, sweetheart? Right now it is, yeah. Drawing. Live streaming right now, kiddo. I have people watching me draw. At least that want to watch me draw, you know. Oh shit, that's 7. That's 30. I need 5. There we go. Oops. What? Yep. So they're hearing me talk to you. Yeah, a little bit. Let me think for his cape here. He's going to goof that up. That's fine. That's all right. There we go. Okay. Right over there, we'll put those. That's good. Okay. What, sweetheart?
I was on your account and then I accidentally.
Oh, that's fine, honey.
Hey, the live stream is here now.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Kind of doing things a little bit of the opposite the way I normally do them. kind of break up the monotony of the belt and everything. We're going to do the belt and warm grays. Did you just go to Dollar General again, honey?
What?
Said, did you just go to Dollar General again?
Yeah.
Probably cheaper. Ace Hardware is. Ugh. So no. Thank you.
Welcome. So I got hooks and wire for the back of the canvas.
Okay.
And then there's a big old like hanger thing in this one with the big nails.
Okay.
That I thought would probably be sufficient.
Yeah, it should be. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
What?
That's something real artists do.
Yeah, I'm not a real artist. All right. All right, let's.
Here's a lag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It quite could be your sketch cover. I love doing these sketch covers. They are a lot of fun. They're very therapeutic in a way. All right. I'm doing basically a technique where I'm doing the colors over uh, the pencils first, and then I'm going back and inking it. Makes the black stand out a little more. All right, so I can't stand my daughter's YouTuber that she's listening to. Hey, thanks, man. The marker clouds, those are fun to draw. Sometimes I can overdo it though, over render them. I'm gonna do the clouds on this one too, so with a glowing moon behind it. Ah, drop the pen. Two.
One side effect of the 1980s horror film, there were a lot of movies based around common pieces of technology. You have horror flicks centered around computers, microwaves, and even phone layers. So hey, why not a movie based around TV zombies? Just call it the video den. Video store is the place where most people are going to see it anyway. They could have just called this the direct-to-video den. The Video Dead is a 1987 direct-to-video horror movie that doesn't get a ton of attention nowadays. Sure, you can find a few videos talking about it online, but overall it doesn't seem to get mentioned much, either as a lost classic or as an infamously bad movie. I know my last two videos talked about a batshit crazy mess of a movie and a legitimately well-made classic. So I guess it's time to balance things out with something not many people remember. Bad news, both Ridley and Tony Scott weren't available, but they did manage to get their cousin Robert Scott to direct this movie. Turns out he had a weekend off. And they also got a guy whose parents weren't very imaginative to be in this, so that's something. Anyway, the movie begins with a package being dropped off, courtesy of Highlight Delivery. By the looks of it, they're delivering Fluffy from Creepshow. Yeah, so far this movie is more like Creepshow 2, which is still a hell of a lot better than Creepshow 3. Well, who knows? Maybe this guy wanted a new pet since his roommate is drowned in their own piss and shit. Clean the bowl out of your way.
7.
Yeah, listen, pal. If you do that on my coffee, you're not getting a tip, okay? Okay, nice to know the fish aren't the only ones shitting themselves to death in this house. Well, you don't have to sign, so might as well take it. All right, the newspaper clippings I ordered are here. Oh, wait, I guess it's a TV. I find that very hard to believe. You cannot convince me that this guy doesn't spend all day jerking off the Golden Girls reruns because he has a Blanche fetish. Oh, never mind. Apparently he's a writer. Okay, I guess he's got to polish up his manifesto before his mass shooting. Ooh, Zombie Blood Nightmares on TV. That's the unrated director's cut of Zombie Nightmare. No, I don't know. Looks like a movie I do on this shit. For now, though, I'm doing the video game. This guy tries to turn the movie off, even going so far as to unplug the TV. The joke's on him. That Japanese bitch from The Ring taught all these zombies how to get out of the TV set. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have the perfect trailer shot and poster for the movie. I would tell these zombies to wipe their feet, but something tells me this guy's not going to care. I mean, what the hell? The delivery guy's back.
Trying to adjust the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing here.
Institute for Studies. I don't know, probably the pocket pussy and crate of Funyuns this guy ordered. Which they will still use. You're a little late, fellas. This guy suffered a deleted death scene from Happy Birthday to Me, which was probably still a relief from this guy's shitty life. Cut to 3 months later, and if this movie were made today, it'd say 3 months earlier. Oh, looks like some new people have bought the house. Oh yeah, 21 Shady Lane, right next to
No, I'm not ready to do that yet.
Hey, listen, before you move in, we should tell you, someone died in this house. The goldfish shit itself to death. Well, overall, this place doesn't look so bad. There's even a fake out scare that wants to welcome you to the neighborhood. Hey, Jeff. Clubfoot acting up again, huh? So here's our main characters, Zoe and Jeff, who are celebrating moving into their new place by having a meal of hot dogs and beans. Okay, actually, their parents got this place. They're just out of the country right now.
Great. Oh, we're grown up and don't need them, they'll be around.
But grown up? This is an 80s horror movie. I thought you were supposed to be teenagers. Fun fact, the actor playing Jeff was only 16 when this was filmed. And considering movies like this usually have adults playing teenagers, it's a little weird seeing someone who's actually age appropriate. Anyway, what else are they up to?
I got my first semester. What's your age? Aerobics. You can't maintain aerobics.
Why the hell not? It's probably more useful than getting a degree in psychology or some shit.
I'm almost afraid to ask you what your minor is. Seriously?
Again, it's the 80s. You could probably have a decent career with that degree. Unfortunately for these two, they're not the only ones that are interested in this house. Okay, judging by his attire, I'm assuming this guy's from New York.
I drove up all the way from Texas.
Oh, okay, I guess he's Texan. Joshua was looking for the TV set that got delivered 3 months ago. A little late on that one, pal. But Jeff's got no time to listen to him. He's got to rehearse for his Nightmare on Elm Street 2 audition later that day. About that TV set, though. Oh boy, this TV gets the Playboy channel. I'm not sure Jeff should be bringing this thing into his room. Only James Woods is allowed to get intimate with TV sets. Besides, you got other people in the neighborhood that need. Hey, who's that? Dance or something? Oh, okay, never mind. It's their neighbor. This is April, and just Jeff's luck, he forgot to stock up on Sunny D and purple stuff to offer. And didn't this movie start out with a guy getting killed by zombies? What happened to them? Wait, what? Is that an Uruk-hai? They gotta worry about orcs now, too?
Well, you know what? I'm not real quite sure why I gray toned in
Okay, that was
the hands here, because those are going to be black anyway.
Good news, you found the dog. Bad news, he's dead. Oh well, better start thinking of a story. Well, just say he got turned on by a Wolverine. Probably more believable. Hey, for the shot. Later that night, Jeff phones April. At least I think this is supposed to be April's place. First, I thought it was the same house. And honestly, if they did just film in the same house to save money, that wouldn't surprise me. Your dad's sleeping with his maid? Who the hell does he think he is? Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, only one thing to do now. Time to get high and watch the Irony Channel. Or maybe one of those smoking fetish videos that are surprisingly popular on the internet. Good news, Jeff. This house also comes with its own B-movie Lady Gaga. And by the looks of it, she's eager to tell you a bedtime statue story. Yeah, that's right. She's gonna off-screen the hell out of Jeff. Probably because you only lasted about 5 seconds of screen time, Jeff. Okay, come on, Jeff. A random woman stepped out of the TV, presumably banged you, and then immediately left. Don't you know that's to mess with a good thing? Plus, she's dead now, so no need to get her number. Why would you kill her? I can see you're really torn up about this, Jeff. And who the hell is this guy? Why? Call me mainly because I work for the sanitation department. Now, if you're wondering who the garbage man is and what his significance to the story is, good question. Because after this scene, he's not in the movie again. Seriously, it seems like the garbage man was supposed to be set up as a major character, but they never do anything with him after this. It's almost like they could only get this actor for one day of filming, but still decided to keep him in the movie. From now on, it's crushed up benzos only. And it doesn't matter that you gave up marijuana, Jeff. The TV's still gonna hotbox this entire basement. It's also not gonna let you turn it off. Man, zombies? Why can't there be more women who want to have sex with me in there? Okay, you cut the zombie's hand off. Now get rid of it in the garbage disposal quick. Mike needs to get rid of the tall man's finger in there. In the meantime, though, there's still zombies walking around the neighborhood. We've got an Eric Stoltz zombie, the Bride of Reanimator, and the orc zombie I mentioned earlier. Talk of seagull.
That is true.
Okay, seriously though, considering how amateurish the wrestling is,
Luckily, I can cover it up.
actually not that bad. Here's to the ones who work smart. Not harder. George Romero presents Night of the Living People Getting Ready for Work. The zombies seem a little silly. Well, you woke up the residents of this place. Don't you dare see these zombies before they put their face on. Okay, lady, you know the best way to take care of zombies? Iron them in the head. Okay, guess that doesn't work. Oh, on the plus side, now that the maid's dead, this guy won't have to worry about his wife finding out he's been having an affair. Oh, never mind, he's dead. Wait, are all these people in the same house? It's hard to tell. Everything looks the same. I guess it could be the zombies are just rampaging through a really boring neighborhood. Oh, you'll never guess what happens next. That's right, a washing machine scare. Okay, no problem. If she lives at the end of the road, it shouldn't take long to get there. Oh, my mistake. Apparently it took Jeff until nighttime to run 1 block. Oh, Jeff, it's horrible. My dad's dead, and I don't think he left me as big of an inheritance as I wanted. Now we know there's zombies terrorizing the neighborhood. Maybe this guy can give us an explanation for what the hell is going on here. There's no doubt that. Title drop. Also, if the zombies come out of the TV, shouldn't they be called the TV dead? The video dead sounds like they should be from a haunted VHS tape. Or possibly a video game. Speaking of VHS tapes, just listen to this next part.
Oh, sister, don't you think I tried? Most I could do was package it up and pull it out.
Okay, wait. Let me get this straight. We have undead creatures that come out of the TV, and the only way to get rid of them is to pass them on to another person? Did the Ring get some inspiration from this? Well, now that they know they're dealing with the undead, there's only one thing to do. Brush their teeth. Okay, considering her gums are bleeding, it's probably a good idea. Don't forget to floss. April gets kidnapped by one of the zombies. Not sure why they didn't just kill her. Well, maybe they just wanted an excuse for an upskirt shot. Okay, well, instead of doing that, get a VCR, tape the zombies, and then this movie really can be like The Ring. Or just put mirrors on your front door. That way you'll know in case any vampires show up. But just what do these zombies want anyway? All they want to do is kill the I don't know. Seems like at least some of them want to make smoothies. Joshua also explains that there's 2 ways to kill the zombies. The first is to trap them together and have them kill each other. And the other way,
I attack them.
so the best way to kill them is by killing them. Got it. Okay, time to go kill some zombies.
Honestly, of course I'll come back, Sil. You big deal like nothing.
Yes, sis, I'm just going to hunt the undead. Pretty mundane shit. Jeff and Joshua go out to find the zombies. However, even though they remember to pack some weapons, they left their peripheral vision back at the house. Wait a second. Is that the monster from Jeepers Creepers? Ooh. And I know Victor Salva might be involved. This movie just got a whole lot scarier. Also, the zombie tries to spy on Jeff while he's taking a leak, so maybe Victor Salva is involved somehow. Time to take care of this creep. Come on, what is with the bow and arrow? You're from Texas. Are you telling me you don't have any guns? No, not being shot in the head. My one weakness. Well, even though they don't have any guns, Daniel did bring something that's associated with Texas.
You're not gonna believe it. Why all time? Absolute all time favorite horror movie is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
What, not Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? I mean, Joshua does look like a low-rent version of Dennis Hopper from that movie. Oh, well, even if the kid prefers the first movie, I can still do this. I'm bringing it down! Congratulations, kid. You took care of a zombie, and all you had to do was kill the shit out of him. Even more good news, you found a new location you can film in. Unfortunately, it looks like Leonard Lake and Charles Ng were using it before you got here. And if anyone doesn't know who they are, Google them and prepare to be horrified. Even though April's dead, they decided to set a trap for the zombies and use Jeff as bait. For some reason. Not like I'm leaving you up there alone. I'll be right in the shed, picking them off one by one. Hey Tex, I got an idea. How about you just take that haunted TV that got delivered by accident and then go home? It's all good though. We gave Jeff a chainsaw. That way, if the zombies come, he can quickly take his own life. Sure hope this trap works. Okay, that didn't do very much. You know, I'm beginning to think this was a stupid idea and Jeff shouldn't have agreed to it. And again, what is with the bows and arrows? These guys seriously don't have no guns? Joshua looks like the type of guy who would give somebody an assault rifle as a wedding present. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the zombies in this movie have a weakness for mirrors, apparently because they can't stand their own reflection. Okay, can't say I've ever seen that in a zombie movie before. And probably for good reason.
Look at him, Mr. Daniel. You wiped them out.
Yeah, you wipe them all out unless you count that one zombie you got away and has a chainsaw now. God, hey, what are the odds I'll have to worry about her? Yeah, this is what you get for wearing that stupid hat, asshole. Wow, this is just like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except way stupider. Luckily, the zombies aren't the only ones who can take a lot of punishment. Jeff gets his leg caught in a bear trap and then proceeds to act like he just twisted his ankle. Oh, and your girlfriend's dead, so you can probably just go home now. Wait, everybody's dead and there's still 20 minutes left? How can that be? No joke, when I first saw this, I thought this part was just going to end up being a fake out. But nope, all the main characters except Zoe are now dead, and all the zombies are still around. Okay, I did not see that coming. Gotta give this movie that much. Another mistake they made, Zoe should have probably went for help instead of just staying home all day. Or here's an idea, just take the TV to a pawn shop. You can get rid of the zombies and maybe get a few bucks for it. It's too late though. The zombies have already surrounded the house and figured out the whole mirror thing's a lame weakness. And considering they've been able to survive everything that's been thrown at them so far, what the hell is Zoe gonna do?
Well, nice to see you. Won't you come in?
Ah, gonna kill the zombies with kindness. Good plan. I guess. George Romero presents Night of the Living Dinner Guests.
I hope you enjoy this. Make the recipe for better than
You made that chili
Just
out
doing a
of
little
ham.
extra
These zombies may be
thin,
dead,
some
but they still
grays
appreciate
here.
being lied to. Uh-oh. In addition to feeding them, I think the zombies want Zoe to get necromantic. Hey, baby, ever been with a guy with rigor mortis before? Oh, thank God the mirror thing still works. This zombie always gets freaked out whenever he sees how dumb his haircut is. Okay, unless you want the zombies to be permanent roommates, just how are you gonna get rid of them?
The killer, traveling in place in which there is absolutely no escape.
Thanks, convenient voiceover. Look, why don't you just get them all to play a game of Monopoly? Eventually they'll get bored and just go home. So after being shot, cut in half, and decapitated, this is how the zombies are defeated, by locking them in the basement. Well, now the movie's almost over, might as well use up all the leftover corn syrup they had in the budget. And so the zombies are sent back to where they belong, the end credits. See, the movie had a happy ending. As long as you don't count everybody except Zoe getting killed. Ah, but wait, the movie's not over yet. Apparently Zoe's in an exorcism movie now. Her parents also come to visit her, and they even brought her a twist ending. Okay, Zoe, not to victim blame, but this is a little on you for not getting rid of that damn TV. So that's the video dead, a movie that doesn't get mentioned a whole lot. And yeah, I can kind of see why. It's definitely not the worst movie I've done on this show, but that's sort of the problem. If it was worse, it might have gotten more of a bad movie reputation instead of just being mediocre bad. One thing it does have going for it is the zombie makeup is actually pretty good considering the low budget, with each zombie having a distinct look. And the twist of having most of the lead characters suddenly killed off was unexpected. Overall, the movie's pretty underwhelming. It's too cheesy to be scary, but not quite cheesy enough to be hilarious. And certain things that could be interesting, like the garbage man, are set up and then forgotten without any explanation. It almost feels like an episode of a horror anthology series that got stretched out to feature length. Like I said, it's not the worst, and a few parts are actually kind of impressive, but overall, it's nothing to write home about. The bigger question that needs to get answered here is, why was this called the videotape? There's no videotapes out there. Well, that's all for now. Until next time. It's been a minute since I did a 50s movie on this show. This time I think I'll change things up a little bit. So far, I've mostly concentrated on monster flicks from the 50s. But now, I'm going to do an alien invasion movie. And what better way to start than with a movie based off the granddaddy of all alien invasion stories, War of the Worlds.
There we go. Okay.
It's
coming together.
Worlds is one of the most important in science fiction. The whole alien invader genre is so common now that it's taken for granted. But this was one of the first stories to depict a full-scale invasion of Earth by beings from another planet. Attempts at a movie adaptation were thought of as far back as the silent era, and there was the famous 1938 Orson Welles radio broadcast that some people reportedly thought was real. But it wasn't until the science fiction boom of the 1950s that a big screen version finally happened. This one comes to us courtesy of producer George Pal, who specialized in other sci-fi spectacles like Destination Moon, When Worlds Collide, Conquest of Space, and The Time Machine. George Pal's movies were big, they were colorful, and they tried to be at least a little bit scientifically accurate, even if the science is dated by today's standards. But War of the Worlds is considered by many to not only be his best film, but also one of the best sci-fi movies of the 1950s. I am still going to make smart-ass comments throughout it, though. And what the hell? Black and white? I thought this movie was in color.
The Second World War involved every continent on the globe, and men turned to science for new devices of warfare.
Yeah, real nice they included the newsreel at the beginning, but when we get to the actual movie, I'm a little surprised they didn't also have a cartoon at the beginning. After all, one of George Pal's previous movies, Destination Moon, featured an appearance by Woody Woodpecker. I guess it's appropriate they're including all this stock footage since the opening credits are in World War II military font. Whoa, Barry Lyndon? Oh, this promises to be a beautifully shot but somewhat tedious Kubrick movie. So, like any good 50s sci-fi movie, we begin with some opening narration. More opening narration. This time courtesy of Sir Cedric Hardwicke telling us about the planet Mars.
Mars is more than 140 million miles at night. It's got far below zero,
Whatever. I live in Saskatchewan. Suck it up and put on a parka, you Martian pussies. Because Mars sucks, the inhabitants decided to colonize another planet.
they could not go to Jupiter, outermost of all planets. They couldn't go to Neptune or Uranus.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Uranus. That place stinks. Come on, I had to. By the way, this movie actually had a pretty big budget for when it was made, and we see that right away with these map paintings. Yeah, they might not be realistic exactly. They look more like they're from an animated movie, but they are still pretty cool.
No sidekicks in this one.
The real movie begins
You'll see the sidekicks in the flashback, though.
California town of 50'sville. Wonder where it led.
Okay,
Oh, fellas, you better get out there. The blob's not going to discover itself. Now, the fact that the movie changed the setting from 1800s England to 1950s California caused some controversy. But I get why they did it. When the book was written, Britain was the world's superpower, and the story was about what would happen if they were attacked by a technologically superior enemy that they were helpless against. But by the 50s, the US was number one, so it made sense that they changed it. Plus, American audiences in 1953 probably didn't want to sit through an entire movie of British accents. And because it's the 50s, that means every car has to look like if the Griswolds were bank robbers.
Looks like the picture was good. Well, I might just do that.
This fat guy cop looks like his first and last names are both Barney, right?
No, I'll smoke it later.
Come on, it's the 50s. 9 out of 10 doctors say you should smoke it now. Well, there's a giant meteorite in California. What are they going to do with such an amazing discovery?
You won't be able to hold up in the way to know your book. It'll be a real good excitement. I'm glad.
Hey, good thinking. Dress it up like the world's biggest ball of string and it'll pay for itself in no time. Man, everyone's coming to see this thing.
I don't understand why media that size didn't make a bigger scene.
Yeah, just change it to Superman and throw it back into space, okay? But wait, some scientists want to look at it first.
But the Ranger said a scientist is coming from Pacific Tech. Clayton Forrester, ever hear of him?
Hell yeah, I've heard of him. He's half the reason I'm even doing this video right now. And this guy's also heard of him because he's Dr. Forrester.
Well, I might have recognized you without the beard. And you didn't wear glasses on the Time cover.
Wait, she didn't recognize him because he's wearing glasses? Is this guy actually Superman? Don't go whacking this thing just yet. First, they got to make sure it's safe.
It's a Geiger counter detecting radioactivity. Look at this thing, going crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. They're shooting a movie with John Wayne out here later. Well, that's enough science for one day. Now, what is there to do in this town?
What do people do around here?
They don't do much of anything.
The granddad, social hall was here.
Whoa. Square dance? That's awfully sinful, don't you think? I mean, look, I can practically see these girls' ankles. Fucking whores. Okay, enough dancing. Now time to get shit-faced on cola. Meanwhile, some townsfolk investigate the meteorite and... Hey, wait a second. I think there might be aliens in there.
Where'd you think they come from?
It's a 50s movie, so... Mars. Actually, I think they might come from the planet with phallic symbols. And don't make first contact with it. You don't know what they're gonna do with that thing.
That is a whiny cat. Hello, Aaron.
Sorry, fellas, but on Mars, the white flag is the symbol for suck my dick. Oh, they're pissed. Well, great. The Martians just killed some people and ruined the church fondue party. The police better go investigate.
Power lines are down. Why the lights went out.
Nice work, Chief. On the plus side, the Martians made chalk outlines of the guys they killed, so that'll save you some time. By the way, before we go on, I gotta mention the sound effects in this movie, because they are awesome. Just listen to the sound the ship and heat ray make here. Yeah, it's so 50s, but so distinctive. In fact, a lot of the sounds here would become stock sci-fi effects for years afterwards. Even more bad news, not only are the aliens hostile, but there's more of them.
On here's Professor McPherson of the Canadian Meteorological Research Council. Is it true, Professor, you have reports of landings in other places in Canada?
Oh, fuck yeah, bud. They're landing all over the place. I wish they'd just take off and go back to Mars, eh? This reporter better be careful. The last time somebody broadcast a Martian invasion, it caused a real panic.
Now that it does just explode, that means you dropped the flare. When it does burst, we shall be the first men on Earth to get a real look at these invaders in space.
Don't you mean invaders from Mars? Oh, wait, that's a different 50s movie. And no need for the flare. The Martians will light up the night sky by setting everything on fire. Pretty soon the military moves in, and thankfully they remember to bring enough coffee and donuts to take on the Martians. The army is led by a guy called General Mann. Because this is a 50s movie, I'm assuming his first name is Rio.
Any news from abroad? Washington is in constant touch with the military of other nations. Apparently, they're coming down all over.
Ah, yes, back when every military commander had to have a 50s radio voice. Damn, even the way the general drinks his coffee is dramatic. Usually in 50s sci-fi flicks, you have to wait until over the halfway point to actually get a good look at the monster or aliens, but not in this movie. The Martian war machines make a full appearance at the 30-minute mark. Oh yeah, this is another important difference between the movie and the novel. In the book, the Martians use huge three-legged walking machines, which is the design the 2005 Steven Spielberg adaptation went with. But because that would have been hard to do from an effects standpoint in 1953, here they use flying manta ray type ships. Of course, they still kind of reference the machines from the book here. Yeah, nice try, fellas, but these things still ain't tripods. No. Better to start shooting. For all we know, they could be a bunch of dirty commies. I mean, Mars is the red planet after all. There's only one thing that can save the Earth now, and that's a big old dose of Jesus.
You should be nearer the creator.
The priest goes out to
There we
try
go.
to communicate with the Martians, and this goes about as well as you'd expect. Yeah, no dice, Father. These aliens are Scientologists. Xenu sends his regards, motherfucker. That does it. Let him have it, fellas. Another change from the book, the Martian ships have force fields here, which kind of makes me wonder if Roland Emmerich was a fan of this movie. Oh well, let's listen to more of those sound effects. They almost sound like if 50s ray gun and spaceship toys were attacking people. And by the way, I mean that as a compliment. It also might seem a little tame today, but in 1953, the level of destruction on display here was some of the most intense any sci-fi movie had shown at that point. Jesus, sure hope that stuntman was okay. I checked IMDb. He was not okay.
Dr. Forrester, get out of there! Everybody out of here!
While the army's
Let's go ahead and we will do the night sky. So let's start with a cool gray, actually.
Hey, sorry about that, sweetheart, but I'm a scientist, not a pilot. With the Martians attacking all over the world, General Mann isn't really sure what to do. Les Tremaine wasn't used to dealing with Martians yet.
We heard that Dr. Clayton Forrester was out there with you. What do you think about this?
Don't you worry, pal. There's a term for the kind of pain Dr. Forrester's going to inflict on the Martians.
Deep hurting, deep hurting.
First, he's got to figure out how the hell he's going to get out of here.
Sky time, sky time.
What is he going to do to her? Oh, there's your answer. He's getting her to cook eggs for him. Well, just because you're on the run from hostile alien invaders doesn't mean there's no time for breakfast. It is the most important meal of the day, after all. So now that they're chilling here for a little bit, how about a little character development?
I had no first coat.
I did 2 light. I thought I had a 7. That was a 5 I started with. That's why I'm going over it with the 7.
I think the bug from Men in Black just landed. Oh, wait, it's the Martians.
Right along.
Quit acting like these things have legs. They are clearly flying. And if you thought the Martians have been a little too intimidating so far, they send in a probe that looks like a cute robot. Ah, yeah. Alright, I joke, but this probe was actually pretty innovative for the time, and it did have a big influence on later sci-fi movies. We also see one of the Martians at this point, and much like the probe, it's weird, but also strangely adorable. Now, in the book, the Martians are described as tentacled blob creatures, but that would have been hard to do in 1953. Not impossible, though. None other than legendary stop-motion animator Ray Harryhausen attempted to make a movie adaptation using that design, creating concept art and even some test footage that you can still find on the internet. Some even say that Harryhausen was the one who convinced George Pal to do a film adaptation, but when he actually got around to making it, Harryhausen wasn't involved. Well, too bad Harryhausen wasn't involved. He could have given us Martians that looked like they did in the book and animated the tripods, but the results here aren't bad. I appreciate that they didn't just go with a guy with pointy ears painted green or something and actually tried to make the Martians look weird and alien here, even if they sometimes look like E.T. with his head cut off running around like a chicken. You know, in hindsight, maybe we should have just had some cereal and got the hell out of here instead of cooking eggs. Anyway, while the Martians are busy laying waste to stock footage from all over the world, the military is busy playing a giant game of Risk. Well, gentlemen, if Moose Jaw falls, that means the Earth is doomed. Well, okay, there is one more thing they can try against the Martians.
The hideout will confirm an order to use the atom bomb.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to drop a nuke on the Martians with a flying boomerang, which was probably pretty impressive in the 50s.
We've been warned that this bomb is 10 times more powerful than anything previously used. Nothing like this has ever been exploded before. And we're pretty darn close.
Well, that doesn't sound very safe. Not that it matters. People are watching like it's Woodstock. No worries, though. See, they're wearing raincoats. They'll be fine. They dropped the A-bomb on the Martians, and And I gotta say, this part where they're trying to find out if it worked, only to see the ships emerge from the smoke, is also very similar to a scene in Independence Day. Okay, I take back my comment about wondering whether or not Roland Emmerich was a fan of this movie, because I think he definitely was. Well, looks like the Earth is
Okay,
a
so we got-
population is
let's do
descending into
three
panic
now.
and looting. But on the plus side, this kid got some ice cream. Might as well steal some beer while you're at it. Everybody else is looting. Of course, it is still the 50s, which means that even at the end of the world, people still say Buster. Damn, not only does Dr. Forrester lose his glasses, but there also aren't any phone booths around for him to change in. While this is going on, the Martians start to lay waste to Los Angeles. It's a shame this movie wasn't made today. I'd really love it if they blew up an influencer house. Oh, and did I mention this movie was probably an influence on Independence Day? Well, looking
Ah,
Looking for Sylvia, Dr. Forrester goes into the church. Better hope Jesus put you on the guest list for heaven.
Oh Lord, we pray thee. Grant us the miracle of thy divine intervention.
Please do us all a favor and righteously smite some Martian ass. Oh, and speaking of divine, I know this is a minor detail, but why does it look like Jesus is wearing drag queen makeup in this statue? I know I've already mentioned this, but the level of destruction shown here was on a level that has rarely been shown in sci-fi movies before. At the time, this was one of the most apocalyptic sci-fi flicks anybody had ever seen. Usually in these types of movies, the main scientist will whip up some sort of invention that'll defeat the aliens.
all
Here,
right.
you really get the feeling that humanity's fucked. The only thing they can do now is pray that their death is swift. Now, the ending to the novel War in the World is pretty well known at this point, but in case you don't know, the Martians are defeated by germs. That's right, instead of weapons, the Martians are taken down by common diseases that humans have become immune to. No, I forgot to wash my hands after using the bathroom. My one weakness. Okay, that's one difference between this and Independence Day. The aliens there weren't defeated by a virus.
I gave it a virus. Computer virus.
Oh, wait, never mind. Actually, they were. Well, thanks, Dr. Forrester. I mean, you didn't really do anything, but you said some sciencey stuff earlier, so, you know, thanks for that. One last difference in the movie from the book is that there's more religious overtones here, but again, 50s. Despite as many departures from the book, H.G. Wells' estate was reportedly so pleased with the movie that they gave George Pal the rights to adapt another of Wells' stories, The Time Machine, which he did in 1960. It also got a release from the Criterion Collection, which puts it on the same level as Armageddon. There was even a War of the Worlds TV series in the late 80s that directly followed and referenced this version. And while it may not be as influential as the book, this still had a big impact on sci-fi movies. Yeah, sure, like any 50s movie, parts of it are going to be dated, and the characters are mostly stock archetypes like the heroic scientist, the gung-ho general, and the female love interest who's mostly
All right, so now let's fill in some blanks.
Still has an important place in science fiction history. While it wasn't the first Alien Invader movie, this really helped popularize the genre. And like I said, its scenes of destruction would end up being a huge influence on future sci-fi flicks. Just like how science fiction as a whole wouldn't be the same without the novel, sci-fi movies wouldn't be the same without George Pal's War of the Worlds. So there you go. I actually did an important movie on this channel. Don't get used to it though. Next episode I'm probably going to do a movie about TV zombies or something. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Everybody out of here! Everybody out!
I'm going to talk about today is a very strange, nonsensical one that most people probably haven't heard of. So it's pretty amazing that I still managed to get it.
At Aspen Dental, we're a different kind of dentistry. That means offering custom crafted dentures in as little as a day, or zero down plus zero interest to pay in full within 18 months. It's dentistry made for your life, so you can spend more of it smiling.
Some of you may remember a few years ago when I reviewed the Lucio Fulci movie City of the Living Dead. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, that one was actually the first installment of what Fulci would call his Gates of Hell trilogy, and now I'm finally getting to the second part. Boy, good thing I did City of the Living Dead first, otherwise people might find this movie a little confusing. So after releasing City of the Living Dead in 1980, Fulci released the second and third parts of his Gates of Hell trilogy the following year, starting with The Beyond and concluding with House by the Cemetery. Although out of all of them, The Beyond is probably the most famous, or should I say infamous. Like a lot of Fulci's movies, it was controversial, being named a video nasty in the UK, and its North American release was trimmed by several minutes and renamed Seven Doors of Death, not getting a full uncut release until 1998. Despite this, though, the movie managed to gain a cult following, and today it's considered one of Fulci's best films. It is still a Lucio Fulci movie, though, which means two things. It's going to be gory, and it's not going to make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, we begin in 1927 Louisiana, a time when real life still looked like a silent movie. Okay, looks like sound effects have been invented by then. I get the feeling something sinister is going on here. Holy shit, Avon is Nilbog spelled backwards. And it's a Fulci movie, so better enjoy some eyeballs while they're still intact. I don't know who these guys are, but it looks like they're at the end of an old Universal Monster movie instead of the beginning of a Fulci one. Hey, fellas. Angry mob, huh? Well, no need to check in. Make yourselves at home. I gotta admit, the sepia-tone photography here is actually pretty moody and effective, and really sets the tone for the film. Although I wonder what it'd be like if I made it look even older. Huh, interesting. And in case you didn't know, this is a Fulci movie. See, only a few minutes in and we've already got some gore. And if you still don't believe me, maybe the Passion of the Antichrist here will convince you. Back in 1920s Louisiana, they took their Easter pageants a little too seriously. Okay, as far as the plot goes, this guy is apparently a warlock, and the hotel he's in is actually one of the 7 gateways to hell. That makes sense. This is part of the Gates of Hell trilogy, after all. And holy shit, an Italian horror director using his real name? What sorcery is this? Cut to 1981, where the hotel has just been inherited by Liza, played by Catriona McCall, or Catherine McCall if you go by the credits.
All right, so now I think what we're going to do is...
Well, business starts quickly.
let's go
Yeah,
ahead
I
and-
wouldn't bother fixing up this dump. Just sell it to Universal Studios so they can make a new Bates Motel. Things get off to a bad start when one of the painters gets spooked by the movie's poster. Yeah, you're in a Lucio Fulci movie. Bad things are going to happen to eyes. Not to worry, though. They make a call to Dr. McKay, played by David Warbeck, and come on, Doc, stop doing that, will you?
Let's find these figures at the hospital.
Are you sure? Because I was kind of hoping he could get back to work this afternoon. With the painter gone, I wonder how long it's going to take to fix up this place. Hey, the jump scare bell still works. Liza also gets a plumber named Joe to come over, although I suspect his real name is more like Giovanni. Oh, it's Tonino? Alright, well, close enough. Well, this ain't good. Your basement's flooded, and it has a weird, creepy lady in it.
What? I made this little pattern for you. Just for you.
Well, I'm sure she's fine. In addition to Martha, Liza also has an assistant named Arthur, and I think he might be even creepier.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm
was looking for keys.
And definitely not your panties, I swear. Oh, there's a problem. There's a leak going all the way to the fiery depths of hell in here. Oh, remember when I mentioned eyeballs earlier?
Leaving again, honey?
What?
Were you leaving again?
Alright, I'll fix the leak. But the demon is going to cost extra. In case the gore made anybody uncomfortable, what do you say we wash that down with some more beautiful cinematography? Liza runs into Emily, the girl from the beginning
I don't know
who's reading
what
a book of
Oh, okay.
John and is now blind. But other than that, I'd say she's aged pretty well since 1927.
Just about finished on this one.
But, you know, figure of speech. While a lot of Italian horror movies from this time were made in Italy and just pretended to be somewhere else, this was actually filmed on
She just
location
lives in Montrose, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Credit, he does manage to make it look both beautiful and weirdly creepy.
Emily, why do you still feel like a child? I can't explain.
Yeah, it's a Fulci movie, so not much is going to be explained here. Just go with it. Meanwhile,
If anybody here that's watching, and I know right now I only see 2 people watching, that's fine. Got to grow the audience. Got to grow the audience. If you want to like retweet this video and get more subscriber type people to my channel, that'd be great. I'm going to start doing like sketch reward days. I'm going to let you guys pick what I draw some days. I think that'll be kind of fun.
There's even more twists here. Not only did the plumber die under mysterious circumstances,
I'll give away some books some days, that kind of thing. So if you ever retweet the page, I do appreciate it. All right, guys, I think we're just going to add a little bit of white highlighting to this, and we're going to call this one done.
Or, you know, don't. Whatever you feel like. See, this is why hospitals need to clearly label and put secure lids on their acid jars. And they also need to find a better place to store their zombies. Never mind the kid, though. How's Liza doing with her hotel renovations? It's a big surprise, huh?
I mean, I knew I had a rich uncle who was a bachelor, a lot of real estate, but
Yeah, judging by what's happened so far, your uncle also had blood orgies with Aleister Crowley and meddled in the dark arts, but...
All right, I'm going to just do a quick erase of some stuff here to kind of get rid of some of the pencil lines that I can. If any of the pencil lines disappear, I did just splash a bunch of alcohol marker all over it. There we go. All right, guys. This is the final cover. Hopefully everybody can see it. I do have to sign it yet, but that's not a big deal. But this is what we got. And this will be going to some lucky fellow. I'm not sure who. But I've got 2 more to do. And when I do mail these out, they are going to go in random, so I don't know who's going to get what. My wife will kind of decide because I'm going to hand them off to her when she mails them out. They'll be going to whoever got the full body sketches. So that's this one here. We're going to sign this one. I'll probably sign it right up here. Here we go. All right, we're going to call that one done. Cool. And then I'm going to get another one ready. How long did that one take us anyway? An hour and a half? That's about right. For this one, what should we do? Got to do another full body, but I like to do, try not to vary them up. I try to vary them up a bit. This one, the last one I just did, that was actually a request. That one actually is going to go somebody specifically because they wanted a certain style. They just wanted him looking down at the moon behind him like I did one of the other ones. So that's what we're going to do there. And I just realized I didn't do a little portion of something that I got to do because otherwise it's going to bother me.
I've been in New York all my life. And there's one thing I've learned not to believe in is ghosts.
Well, it's a Fulci movie, so you're mainly going to have to worry about zombies.
There we go. All right. Now, let's see what we can do here. Let's see.
Okay, look,
Let's try a little something here. Let's do an action one a little bit.
Most of the work's already done for you. See, you've got plenty of sheets to make ghosts. Not only is the corpse not in the bathroom when the cave goes in there, but it's got even more news to Liza.
Okay.
Yeah, I know every blind girl in New Orleans, and none of them are named Emily. You're crazy, lady. Well, only one thing to do now.
Okay.
Bourbon Street, buy yourself a hand grenade.
I think we're gonna just kind of get this one sketched out here real quick, and then I'm gonna turn off the stream for a little while. But we are gonna get the pose roughed out at least.
I believe that about as much as I believe your accent. And if you think this guy's creepy, here's a reminder.
Thank you, thank you.
Maybe Liza left some of her panties down in the basement. She won't notice if I look down here. Meanwhile, Liza's assistant Martin goes to the New Orleans Public Director Cameo Library to look up the building plans for the hotel. He wants to see if the gateway to hell can be converted into an exercise room. Well, with Lucio Fulci himself running this library, I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Let's make a black owl coming right at you.
New Orleans weather, am I right, people? It's almost as bad as the bugs. I don't like where this is going. You know, this is another situation that I
There we go.
could easily be fixed if this guy just moved. This is probably the most infamously.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got going on with this one right here. If you can see it, it's kind of light, but that's what the next one's going to look like. I'm probably going to be live streaming again a little while. I'm going to take a little breather for a bit before I start this next one, though, because I have a feeling my kids and my wife are probably starting to get hungry and would like me to make dinner at some point. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Like I said, please go ahead and retweet out my live streams and my channel if you'd like. And like I said, I am going to start doing some sketch requests on here, some giveaways for books, things like that. So thank you all for watching. See you later.